You're watching ABC4 News, celebrating 75 years.
Welcome back. Thanks for staying with us. So with the latest snowstorm, Summit Park at the top of Parley's Canyon is over 140% of its normal snowfall. Parley Summit, one of those ones important to watch, as the Great Flood of 1983 was triggered by all the melted snow that came down the canyon and joined other rivers overflowing their banks. Longtime locals can look at how the State Street River was once a thing, and now we're turning to Craig Wirth, who was there for that event 40 years ago. It's worth watching.
Oh, the State Street River was famous in Philadelphia, in Kansas, and all over America, including Indiana, too. What river on State Street, you ask? Well, this is State Street as we saw it over the last week. Note the piles of snow. You ought to see the piles of snow in the mountains. The fear is that we could have a repeat of how this State Street corner looked in 1983. Yeah, when there was a river of melted snow roaring down the street. People talk about the flood of 1983 pretty much every spring when the snow melts. You see, we had record amounts of snow in the winter of 82-83, try 700 inches at Parley Summit versus a norm of about 300 inches, and a really cold May. That is until the last week of May when it hit 90 degrees. At first they thought they could hold it all at Mountain Dell in Parley's Canyon. It didn't work. The water came. Manholes became geysers. Water came down 13th South out of Parley's Canyon. It gushed through Memory Grove, tearing out a new channel. Things didn't look too good. People had about a day to save the town. And it all amounted to an equivalent of an old barn raising. Thousands turned out to sandbag the city. For the first time, even churches were canceled on May 29th. It was no picnic on the holiday weekend. 1 million sandbags, yes, 1 million sandbags were stuffed with sand. Plastic riverbeds made a new roaring river. There was a human chain. Sandbags went from the big sand pile down the street and into the river.
Well, by about the second day, we knew this was a big deal. Why? Because they were already selling t-shirts. I am a Salt Lake City sandbagger and the spirit of 83.
And of course, the souvenir of the decade, water from the flood. Oh, it had a warning, do not drink. Now, what's wrong with drinking opaque, dirty flood water from City Creek that was turning the city into a creek? The masses and sandbags had moved on to State Street. People worked day and night and made a new river, the State Street River. The new river would run from Memory Grove all the way to about Dirks Field. It was quite a river. It even had rapids. People had a sense of humor about it all. One claimed to have caught a fish in it. Well, there is the guy and the fish. We don't know if fishing without a license on State Street is as bad as driving without a license on State Street. But it wasn't just a river. In one day, bridges were built over the mighty State Street River. Some for cars, some for people. And like any good river, it became a destination tourist site. It just seemed very strange. A river roaring down the street. Kind of a combination downtown Riverwalk and Venetian-style canal. And life went on around it and over it. About the worst thing about the State Street River was this. The sandbags blocked the old Center Theater. Well, that meant Star Wars, Return of the Jedi, had to go to a theater on dry ground. Well, that was big news then. The city spent about $150,000 a day to keep the river flowing, and it did.
And then it was time to take it all apart and drain the mighty State Street River.
13 days later, all was done, and the city picked up its million soggy sandbags and tore out the $30,000 bridges that were put up in just one day. The city hosed down the street, and all of this became a memory to talk about every spring. Craig Wirth, ABC 4 News.
Now time for your pinpoint weather forecast. Now, Nate, we're wrapping up the weekend, going into a new work week. What can we expect in terms of weather over the next few days here?
Yeah, we've got snow pushing through a lot of the state right now, Sarah, so things are turning slippery out there for a lot of the commute, a lot of the roads in Salt Lake Valley now with a lot of rain changing over to snow. Boy, it was gorgeous this afternoon, though. Chris Williams captured some of the scenic views from West Valley, showing off, of course, the snow on the ground and the mountains and some of the clouds above, but, of course, blue sky. Snow coming down one area, Cache Valley, they had 10 inches this morning. We've got more winter weather in the mix for tonight. A couple of inches possible for Cache Valley, not under the winter weather advisory, though, so won't see quite as much on the far northern end of the state. Temperature-wise, 26 in Logan. Good evening, 19 Evanston, 35 in Provo. So temperatures have come down from the mid-40s where we were this afternoon. Below average, low 50s is a normal high this time of year. 48 right now in St. George. Good evening, Lake Powell, 46, 45 in Moab. Winter weather advisories again now expanded to include the northern Wasatch Front, Salt Lake Valley. 2 to 4 inches generally expected. This kicks in at 11 o'clock for the lower elevations. So here in just the next half hour or so, mountain areas have already seen several inches of snow pile up, and they are expecting 4 to 10 inches. Locally, could see some isolated higher amounts, closer to a foot, and some poor conditions as far as driving conditions expected tomorrow morning. Utah Valley down south towards areas like Fillmore, Scipio, even just north of Beaver, could see 2 to 4 inches of snow as well. Some lingering light snow showers and gusty winds, so blowing and drifting snow could be a concern tomorrow morning. Could have wind gusts anywhere from 40 to 45 miles per hour. Future snowfall, again, estimating a couple of inches is all, about 2 inches in Ogden, Logan an inch and a half almost. Park City maybe closer to 6 inches, Provo closer to 4, maybe even 5, and we'll continue to see some light snow showers continue Tuesday and Wednesday. Another storm system is going to move in, so active weather for the first part of the work week. Here's one system as it clears out. Again, more of a westerly southwest flow will continue. Waves of moisture moving through. This is our next batch on Tuesday. Expecting again some scattered moisture into the afternoon, and then a trough on Wednesday. That one should pack slightly a bigger punch. St. George staying on the dry side of things, just breezy winds. Mid-50s are expected, upper 50s on Wednesday, about 60 degrees. Then 58 on Thursday. Should be beautiful out there, mostly sunny skies. Slight chance of moisture late Friday, chance of showers Saturday. Notice daylight saving kicking off this weekend. Should be in the upper 60s, near 70 degrees. Nice weather for the most part, just a slight chance of some showers on Saturday. The Wasatch Front, again, chance of snow showers continuing into tomorrow morning. Winter weather advisory through 11 o'clock for a lot of the northern Wasatch Front. Salt Lake County included in that. Just 36 for the high again tomorrow. So colder temperatures. 37 on Tuesday. Breezy winds through midweek. Again, some snow showers on Wednesday as the storm system moves through. I think we'll get a break on Thursday, but nearly every day in the next 5 to 7 days, minus Thursday, has a chance of moisture. Southwest flow is going to pick up, so we will see temperatures warm up, still below average by almost 10 degrees. Rain and snow showers, so we're looking at maybe more of a wintry mix by the weekend instead of just snow. Winds will be breezy, if not quite windy on Saturday as the storm pushes through. The mountains should do pretty well next weekend as well. Sarah?
All right. Thanks, Nate.